Hey guys, Kid here, Burn One. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of Refresh Point podcasts and haven't really updated with any other decent content, at least. Just a couple of random channel updates and some box openings. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do openings. If you guys like that stuff, where I open boxes and rant about random stuff, let me know, and then I'll probably continue doing those. But this video here, we're going to be talking about my Houston tournament report. We're going to go over my matches, and then we'll go over the deck I did use. Surprise, surprise, I played Sword Art Online. If you did not know, it's probably like the best deck to bring into a regional without knowing what the meta really is going on over there. Since I don't know much of the local scene in Houston, Sword Art was probably just like the best choice, period. It's probably like top 2 or 3 deck anyway, so it's a solid pick all around. So Houston, I decided to fly out there and went out there with a couple guys from Chicago. Shout out to them. The 2 people in my hotel room, the other 2 people I stayed with, both made top 8. Clinton and Alex. One playing Konosuba, Clinton playing Contact Collection, as he always does, it seems. So the tournament itself was 7 rounds. Houston finally got the right number of rounds this time around, which was great for everyone. I ended the tournament at 12th place with a 5-2 record, losing to Bang Dream, the player that got 2nd place, and losing to my friend Alex in spectacular fashion. Just lost to the numbers there in round 6, I want to say. I think it was round 6. Yeah. And that caused me to be knocked out of being able to be top 8, unfortunately. So the round breakdown was round 1 I played against Mono Blue Titans. The player I played against was kind of new to Weiss, so it was almost like I was basically teaching him how to play Weiss at the event. After that, round 2, I played against a Sword Art Online player that was pretty good. Unfortunately, I did a judge call against him towards the end of the game, where he played a level 3 Lifa and looked at top 5 cards of his deck when he only had 4 characters on the field. So I called judge over because he was revealing information he shouldn't know. Honestly thought the judge would probably take the card that he saw, put it back into his deck and shuffle, and then continue the game, because usually early in the rounds they're not looking to give people game losses, more just to finish the round with as little incident as possible. But unfortunately the head judge decided to give him a game loss. He ended up taking it like a champ, and that was that. I probably would have lost. We finished the game anyway, and for sure after that I would have lost that turn. It was a very close game though. Round 3, I was playing against look from what I saw, it looked like a standard Modica deck. I was pretty ahead for the most part, but then again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is with Houston, but I was doing Yuki's level 1 effect with a climax combo, and my opponent started revealing damage. I asked him to give me a second to let me finish the Yuki effect before he starts revealing for damage. He said, okay. I didn't realize you were doing the Yuki effect. And then he shuffled the damage he revealed back into his deck. And at that point, I can't let that go. I had to double check to make sure he didn't just put the damage back on top of his deck, because if that was the case, I wouldn't have called judge at all. But he shuffled his deck with the damage back into his deck. So at that point, I called judge, and the judge gave him a game loss, obviously, at that point. Round 4, I played against... Man, what was round 4? I can't remember right now. Oh man, why am I blinking so hard? I can't remember for whatever reason, but I just remember round 4 being fairly easy. It was one of those games where I just like canceled every turn, and my opponent just basically cried the entire time. Man, I wish I could remember. Anyway, going round 5, I played against the person that got 2nd place. He was playing Bang Dream. It was a really, really close game. I got him to 3-6, then he healed once and then killed me that turn afterwards. It was really interesting. He had a really interesting deck build, which once that list is out on the website, I think he already posted it somewhere on one of the Facebook group pages. Check it out. Try out that list for Bang Dream. It's a pretty cool list. It has some spicy tech in it and stuff like that, and some interesting themes for it. But it looks like a really good list. Really impressed with it. And also, he was a really good player. I played him last year at WGP in New York for Nationals, and he was the one that basically knocked me out of being in top 16 for the top 16 cut of Nationals last year for Japanese. Round 6 happens. Round 6 is against my friend Alex playing Konosuba. He has a really unconventional build, I would say. It has the Eris level 3 and the level 3 Megumin that burns 5 for its top end, which I don't think I see a lot of lists like that. Usually it's people build towards one or the other kind of deal, but he had it both. It's a pretty interesting list. Game goes pretty even for the most part. We get to the end. He misplays into my level 3 thinking he was stronger for the restand, but he wasn't, so it killed his character before he got the double attack off. After that, it was my turn. He was at 3-4, 2 open spaces and one character. I play the I forget the card name, the Asuna that lets you shuffle cards back into your deck to gain 1 more soul. So I played that, shuffle some cards back into my deck to get the extra souls, so I can side in, if need be, against his level 1 character. So in the 2 open spots, I play 1 soul character, swing for 2. And he just refreshed, by the way, too. So he refreshed with only 7, and he has no cards in hand and only 2 stock, I believe. 2 or 1? 2 stock, yeah. So hit him for the 2, trigger, no trigger, so hit 2. He's at 3-6. I swing the empty lane, the second empty lane in the middle for 2, trigger, nothing. So then it still hit him for 2. He cancels on 2, and then so in that instance, it just side for 1 against his level 1. With the Asuna, I side, no trigger, hit him for 1. He cancels, so he double cancels off of that, which was really, really annoying. I think afterwards it was something like a 17% chance of him canceling that side for 1, and he got it somehow. And then after that, I proceeded to cancel twice and then die to the 3rd attack, I believe, playing him again, next turn. So that basically knocked me out of any chance of getting top 8. Final round, I played against the Cinderella Girls. It was a really straightforward game. I canceled a lot of the game and had like really good deck compression and everything, and so my opponent really couldn't get any damage in. I remember the turn before I killed him, I think I canceled like 4 or 5 out of his like 6 attacks basically, because he played, if I remember correctly, I think he played double Ronco and Anastasia, and then did all the effects that turn. So I canceled like 4 or 5 attacks at least, which was unfortunate for him, and then he proceeded to die next turn. So yeah, that was my Texas trip. Ended up 12th place, unfortunately. Really, really wanted that Konosuba playmat. But yeah, this is probably like the 3rd time I placed like 12th place, I think, or at least in top 16 after so many English regionals at this point. I'm really unfortunate I haven't broke top 8 recently. All right, so let's get into the deck here. So here's the full deck list. Yes, the full deck list. So yeah, sort of online. This list is a little different because actually I built this list to do 2 things. One, play in a more of a play style that I like. I usually like what a lot of people consider like the Japanese style of playing, which is try to stabilize at 2 and like basically sack cancel at 2 because of compression and stuff like that. And then have a top end game that like can kill your opponent basically. But also I took into consideration that same thing at Indy. I basically played the same deck at Indy, except I made some small changes since then to make make it more consistent. But the same thing I thought when I was going to Indy too. One of the major players here that is very consistent at placing in the top echelon of players at regional is Clinton, and he plays Contact Collection, and I do not want to deal with anti-heal. I've played that deck a lot in Japanese, so usually certain decks like that, like Contact loses to occasionally, is whenever like someone can heal a couple times in a game, especially if Contact Collection can't get ahead or get put into a position where it can win the following turn, usually off of Akagi's and stuff like that. So like getting multiple heals off against Contact Collection is pretty strong, so that's why I actually do this red splash here for the Elizabeth heal, since it does heal the stock, and it also helps you manage stock a little bit better so you can get like double or triple Xenon off when you're level 3 and still have pressure at level 2 with the red level 3. And then, yeah, everything else about the deck is pretty straightforward. It just plays the generic Yuki game, the 1-0 Kirito from the new set. Yeah, I think maybe the most weirdest thing about this deck, besides playing for the red Lisbeth, is that I played the one of the Kirito level 3 that comes out early with 2 elect climaxes. In some instances, this card is actually better to play than the Elizabeth, just because either your hand size is too small, or you have nothing worth healing with the Elizabeth, or you don't have red, which almost never happens. And it also helps you dig for climaxes if, for example, if one of the Lifas doesn't get you there. One thing you do notice not in this list too is I took out the 2-1 Xenon level 3 killer. There was no real level 3s in English that early play that I'm really worried about, so I took it out, and I'm with having the Lifas and the Kirito level 3, it's pretty easy to get the book when you need it. So I felt like it wasn't a really good choice to play in English right now. Though this weekend I wish I had it. If I had it this weekend as a 1-up, it might have made one of my game losses into a win. What is it? I think, against Bang Dream, I had trouble finding the book, actually, because I booked 2 of them into stock, and then 2 were in waiting room, refreshed, and I had to like get it off the top like 6 cards of my deck, one of the 2 climaxes, and of course it was the 7th card in my deck. But yeah, so let's break down it by level. Here's my level 0 game. On the left there, those are most of our like beater cards, I would say. We have the top check Silica, that's her name, Silica Bomb at 0. It's a really good card. It helps you hand fix, which this deck in some cases can get flooded with climaxes in your hand because you run gold bar and book. It also like makes your brainstormers like dig 1 card deeper, so you're like fake brainstorming for 5, which is enough like a cool synergy I really like about cards like that, especially when they're on beaters already. Next we run 4 Kirito level 0 runners. They're runners, we just +1. Has a secondary effect that doesn't really matter because almost none of the cards in the deck are named Xenon except for the level 3, and then like the level 0 support. Then we have a 1 of, this is to help for a little bit color fix, 1 of Clock Bomb Yuki level 0. Next, at the top there, we have 3 Xenon supports. It's Married Life, but it's Xenon. It's in there for blue because we don't play yellow, so I want more blue to make the blue more consistent, basically. We run, of course, 4 of the Brainstormers. It gives 1 level 1k to the center slot, as well as has Brainstorm, pay 1, tap 2 mill, 4 for every climax you have, search. Then we have there on the bottom right hand corner, we have 2 of our main, these 2 cards basically run the deck and make it way more consistent. So we have 4 of the Asuna that shuffles cards back in your deck. This helps with your Yuki and your Brainstorm. If you're searching for certain cards, you can search that are no longer in your deck, or if you like mill out 2 or 3 Yukis early on, you can put the Yukis back in your deck to get them again. And so when you brainstorm or use Yuki's effect, you always have the targets you want. Next, these 2 red searchers. I added the 2 red searchers in for a little bit more color consistency with red, just because it was something like, I would say like 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 games I wouldn't get red when I needed red for the early play level 3, because before I was only running 7 yellow cards, or red cards, but now I'm running 9, and it made it way more consistent, as well as making searching out Yukis at 0 way more consistent too. It just kind of like fixed a lot of things, and later in the game it helps you just grab things out of your deck that you might need in certain matchups, the 1-ups I have and stuff like that. And then one other thing about the Asuna level 0, it's whenever it gets reversed, you reveal the top card. If it's level 1 or higher, it goes to stock. It's really good because it helps you set up for your following turn. So a lot of things in this deck you have to think about is how much stock you would need next turn or in the next like 1 or 2 turns, so you can try to set up for situations where this card will go to stock. My opponent before, what was it? Oh, it was a Sword Art. I think that was round 4. It was the Sword Art mirror match also. But my opponent in that, he's playing Switch Combo. Now I remember. But that game was super free. Oh man, this fire truck. But the things you gotta remember about this is you need to make sure you don't run it into a suicider or anything or a bomb at 0 or anything like that, because your opponent can always choose not to use it. Because my opponent in that matchup was trying to get 1 more stock so he could double Xenon, and I just chose not to kill his character because the reverse effect from bombs is an optional effect, and because he did that, I kind of screwed him out of an extra stock to do his stuff. Alright, this is the level 1 in like 2 game. So like I said, 4 Yukis, it's the best level 1 in Sword Art. If you're not playing Yuki, the only other reason you wouldn't be playing that is maybe you're playing Switch with a new combo, or you're really crazy and you play in Soul Cal where they think Invites the Party is the better choice. We have 4 Krito level 0 or level 1s for deck manipulation. Helps you top check for climaxes. So if you hit a climax, you can brainstorm and plus off of it. And then when it goes away, you can top check up to 3 and then add 1, ditch 1. This helps you get rid of climaxes in your hand as well and burn through your deck when you know you need to. And then we have the support, the 1 of Lifa counter because, statistics. And then 1 Machine of Ice Xenon. You only played it in certain matchups where you're trying to avoid counters, or when a character is really close to one of your early plays power, you don't want to deal with counters, then you just tap for that effect. And then here's the top end, top left hand corner here, like I said, is the early play Elizabeth and Krito. Those are your main beaters and ways to push ahead at 2 once you hit level 2. And with all the milling and cards you pull out of your deck consistently with Yuki, it's like you have a lot of fake compression in the deck. That way you can get these out very consistently. And then underneath there we have 2 Lifa clock kicks that help search for climaxes for your Xenon combo, and then of course last shot Xenon. One thing to remember about Lifa is that the clock kick works on both turns. And yeah, that's basically the deck. I'll open it back up to, there it is, the whole deck again for you guys. But yeah, that was basically my Houston trip. I'm really kind of disappointed that I didn't make top 8. It was a really rough weekend, but stuff happens. But yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. Make sure to check out the Refresh Point podcast. We've been working on that a lot. The next episode should be coming out in about a week or less. And then hopefully I get some more content out soon for you guys besides just the podcast. If you guys have any comment suggestions or you enjoyed this video, just like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And usually I read all the comments because I don't get that many, and I usually respond to most of them. But yeah, see you guys in the next video.